Hi, my name is Alex Ferranti, and let me start off by saying I think what we're going to try to do tonight may be considered impossible. But I'm not concerned about what's impossible. It may even be difficult. Where I am, difficult and impossible make things fun. So here's what we're going to do. I think I've been doing my kind of work for 30 years, and people have done a wonderful job attempting to explain it, and they probably haven't done very well because it's hard to capture. So what we're going to talk about tonight is an attempt to capture some of the information or the material that I offer to people. What I think I should say up front is that it's not a different point of view or a new point of view or even another point of view. What it simply is a perspective in how one could look at things. Because usually the way things are looked at by most of us, without knowing it, we impose certain restrictions, or as I call them, structures on what we're looking at, which usually includes us and makes things very, very difficult. Now, what the heck did I just say? It goes like this. Usually people see themselves in a particular fashion, and it doesn't give them a lot of freedom to look to see what else is possible for them. So one of the things I'm really up on, and I do a lot of work on with people, is their relationship with themselves. And then the other thing is the relationship with others. I think that pretty much covers the gamut of everything. So one of the first tenets we cover is that, would you consider that who you are has nothing to do with what you think or what you feel? I know, I'll say it again, who you are has nothing to do with what you think or feel. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, what else is there? Well, there is something else. However, before we get to the something else, if we ever get there, maybe not tonight or in this presentation, is you are identified by what you think and feel ongoingly. For instance, someone walks into a room and you're having a meeting or you're with a bunch of friends at some kind of social event, and you instantly look at that person and you go, I don't like them. Well, where did that information come from? They didn't send you a bio telling you what they're like. You instantly had a dislike for them, or you didn't care for them. There's something that registered with you about them. So I say, at that point, what you had was a strong feeling or a thought that somehow influenced you, so you have a particular prejudice, we'll say. Now, I'm going to go to the board in a minute, and I'm going to show you that little piece I just did. I'm not always sure what to call it, because this is sort of like, I'm used to doing this with people in front of me. I'm just doing this in front of the camera and all that stuff. So I'll have to think about this a little bit more. I'm going to go to the board in a minute, and I'm going to put on an illustration. I do a lot of drawings on the board, so you can have an idea, what did he just say? What does he mean? Sometimes a picture will convey exactly what goes on. And I'm going to show you how you can you can have a moment of clarity, and then your thoughts and the feelings will muddy up the water, so you really don't have any idea what's going on. And then there's something that happens after that, which I'll get into. Okay, here we go, ready to go. So this is what an aspect of the consultation looks like that I do. We get right to work to the board. You could be in here a few minutes, let's say, hold on, let's go to the board and take a look at something. So I find probably 10 out of 10 times what goes on with people is they live in a paradigm or a world or a reality or a universe, call it whatever you like, or a box, that who they are, what they think and feel has something to do with who they are. And that is a problem, because that's not even close to it. In other words, what they think, we'll call X is what they think, Y is what they feel, and Z is what they think the opinions are of others has on them. Now, when I look at that, I go, that's a killer. Because nowhere in there, in X, Y, or Z, do you have any authority. You're doomed by this. And if you say, I am all those things, you're messed up. No, you're more than messed up. You're condemned. And you're going to struggle to try to get outside of that which you can't get outside of. Because if you identify with any of these, you're doomed. Now, all I say is that who you are has nothing to do with what you're feeling, thinking, or what the opinions are. Others have a view, but we live a lot of that. So the work that I do is I make this assertion that if that's not you, then what the heck's going on? What are these thoughts, feelings, and opinions doing that are kind of like driving you all over the place? It's like being in a car. And for most of the time you can steer. All of a sudden the car starts steering on its own. And that's what your feelings and the thoughts and the opinions, they're driving you in your life in your car. And then you wonder why you're not happy, or you're miserable, you're annoyed, you're irritated, resigned. Nothing that people want to be around. So my assertion is it has nothing to do with who you are. So I invite you, I say, come on out and let's look at all three of those. And I join you. I say, let's take a look at what all that is. Now this right here is really where the dynamic takes place, because what's going on here is that this individual will say, but that's what I think, or that's what I feel, that's what the opinions are, as if it has something to do with them, like it's their hand, or their nose, or their chin, or their, some part of their anatomy. When I start asking questions, we look at the thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Out here, you notice them. In here, you are them. So the question is, what does it take to get you out here and keep you out here a lot longer than staying in here? In here, you've got no future. In here, the future is wide open, full of a lot of things that can make life very interesting, if that's what you want. And so the premise of my work is that what you think, feel, and the opinions that you have nothing to do with who you are. I invite you often, again and again and again, to come on out here. Stay out here with me. Now, if I'm getting my job done, when you're not with me, you'll be doing that, and people say, well, I often hear you. I hear you talking to me. Well, that's fine. I don't care who you hear it from. As long as you come out and look at it, that's fine with me. If it's me, it doesn't matter. The idea is come on out, stay out, and notice what you think and feel. Now, saying it on this board is relatively easy. Watch this. If I did this, those are signs and symbols for lots of money. Do that and tell me if your account system changes, or the balance in your checkbooks changes. It won't. Putting stuff on this board doesn't change anything, but it gives you a perspective to start looking at what the heck's he talking about. Because I say when you're out here looking in, out here, you start to discover that you have a sense of freedom. You could discover that you're satisfied, and you can have a lot of fun and be happy. In here, you're pretty much doomed. And don't get me wrong, some people live all their lives in here. My proposition is come on out where you can be free of that and not imprisoned by that.